Welcome to this second video. Today, we will show you how to record a weld. You will see how to choose the weld number, how to navigate between the different screens, and finally how to transmit your weld. Please note that the pages of your app may be slightly different. That is because the content displayed on your app has been chosen by your manager, according to your local requirement. But do not worry, that does not make any difference for your training. Well, let's start. To record a weld, the most important thing is to define the number of this weld. With PANDROL CONNECT, all the welds must be identified with a unique number. Well, let's start. To record a weld, the most important thing is to define the number of this weld. With PANDROL CONNECT, all the welds must be identified with a unique number.
La deuxième méthode, plus simple et conseillée, est d'utiliser la fonction de numérotation automatique que nous avons vue lors du paramétrage dans la vidéo précédente. Pour l'utiliser, il vous suffit d'appuyer sur Numéro automatique. Une fois ces actions réalisées, une nouvelle page de soudure apparaît, vous remarquerez que le numéro s'affiche en haut de l'écran.
Just a note about this automatic number. The format of the automatic number is selected on the setting page. It has been designed to provide an easy, understandable, and unique number to each welds. Two formats are available. We advise you to work with the second one. See below how does it work. Let's say a welder with ID PA66 cast 2 welds on 26th of September 2018. The weld number will be PA66 26 for the 26th of the month, 9 for September, 18 for year 2018, and finally 2 because it is the second weld of the day. If he cast a third weld, it will put a 3 at the end. This way, it is easy to define the number. Every day is a fresh start, and anybody can tell who and when a weld was casted, just by looking at the weld number. Okay, let's move on to navigation. The weld report has 10 pages. They have information similar to your paper reports. These pages are welder, location and job, environment, consumables, rails, gap, preheating, time, visual inspection, and finally, profile grinding. You can navigate between these screens by swiping the screen or using the arrows at the bottom. At any time, you can go back. Before you start, just a note on the main menu. During your work session, you will have to work on several welds simultaneously. PANDROL CONNECT has been designed to adapt to your operations on site. At any time, you can go back to the main menu by clicking on the back arrow at the top left. From the main menu, you can create a new weld or open an existing weld in the previous welds list. Note that to remove a weld from the list, just leave your finger on it for a few seconds. Still, in the interest of simplification, PANDROL CONNECT will remember your recurring data. When a weld is registered, the majority of information is memorized to save time on the following welds. For example, you do not need to input at each time the name of a worksite. However, the batch numbers of the load must be scanned each time, because each weld uses a different portion. To erase a parameter, you simply have to double-click on the circle behind it. Let's start. The first screen is the welder screen. Use this page to fill in data about people doing the job. The name, company and ID of the welder are pre-filled, but you can add the name of your assistant, for example. Those parameters are saved, so you don't need to input them each time. The second screen concerns the type of work performed and the location of the weld. On the first part, you will input the contract numbers or works, the type of weld, a track distressing, for example. Then two parameters are very important. First, the railway network. This is the network on which you are operating. Then, the customer. This is the company which managed the track work and your direct customer. For example, if the site is managed by GPX on the London Underground network, you must choose GPX for the customer and London Underground network. If your company works directly for Network Rail, choose any or other customer. The second part of this screen is the location of the weld. To fill in the name of the area, you can simply click on the pinpoint icon. For the mileage, use the 4 text boxes to specify the units. Example: 125, M for miles, 567, Y for yards. Caution: the weld won't be saved until you have finished this page, so make sure that you validate it before going back to the main menu. The environment page will allow you to indicate the information about the workplace, such as the type of sleepers, the temperatures, the weather, or the type and speed of the line. You will notice that a picture banner is available on most of the pages. To take a picture, press one of the 4 camera icons. To review or delete a picture, keep your finger on the icon for 2 seconds. You are now on the consumables page. It will allow you to save the batch numbers. You will not need to keep the labels anymore. The first step is to fill in the kit number. It is important because it will define the settings for the rest of the weld. If you have a Pandrol kit, use the QR code icon to scan the kit. This will enter the kit number, the kit date, and the batch of the portion. If you use Goldschmidt, Pandrol Germany or Pandrol India product, you will need to enter the first digits of the mold number, then choose the grade of the portion. Now, to retrieve batch numbers, simply use the barcode button. On Pandrol products, it works for the portion, the molded and crucible. On the Goldschmidt mold, there is no barcode. You will have to input it manually. Please note that within a few months, a single scan of the QR code of your Pandrol kits will be enough to fill all the information on this page. If a barcode or QR code is hard to read, you can still input the data manually. The following pages concerns the rail settings. Use the rail settings page to record data about the rail. Profile, grade, use of tensors, for example. Then, fill in the actual gap of your weld for the inside tip, head and external tip. After filling in the gap, you will be taken to the preheating page. This will allow you to choose your procedure. Make sure you select your country, the type of preheating, and finally the preheating line. Instruction and settings such as pressure and time are displayed at the bottom of the page. It will be useful when you will weld less common process such as head repair or wide gap. You are now on the time recording screen. You will be able to record the preheating time, the tap time, and the shearing time. In order to simplify the use, you have two methods to activate the stopwatches. You can click on the screen, or use the volume button to start and stop the time watch. It works better with gloves. Small note: an alarm is triggered 30 seconds before the end of preheating. It has been added to give you the possibility to input data on another screens or another weld without risking to miss the end of the preheating time. In order to make these recordings more reliable, the recorded durations cannot be modified. If you have incorrectly recorded the tap time, you can select it manually at the bottom of the page. For the rest, you can report any problem on the comments at the end of the weld. The next page is the visual inspection page. Here you can enter all your remarks and notify about problems during welding. The most important parameter is the conformity of the weld. This will allow your supervisor to know immediately if the weld is compliant or non-compliant, so he can take the appropriate measures. To simplify the explanations, the app offers a push-to-talk function. Keep pressing the red button to record. When the message is finished, it becomes green. You can click on the button to listen to it, or press for 3 seconds to erase it. At the end of the inspection, a pop-up asks you if you want to proceed to the profile grinding page. If the profile grinding is done another day, click on No. You go back to the main menu. The weld will then appear as welded and transmitted. Your supervisor will be able to see your weld record on the monitoring dashboard. If you choose Yes, you access the profile grinding screen. You are now on the last screen, Profile Grinding. Fill in all the data then. At the bottom of the page, click on the right arrow to finish the record. The application then asks you if you want to transmit the weld. By clicking No, you return to the main menu. The weld appears as Profile Grinding. It can be modified later. Choose this option if you have not completely filled the report. If you click Yes, you will also return to the main menu, and the weld appears as transmitted. It is locked and waiting for your supervisor inspection. To allow quick identification of the weld in the future, it must be marked with its unique number. The procedure depends on your country. Follow your manager instruction. Make sure you mark the exact number as written on your app. Well, that's it for today. You've just seen how to record a weld. You can now watch the third video to see how to update an existing weld, in case of remedial for example. Thank you again for watching this video. If you have a question, do not hesitate to contact us at PANDROL CONNECT pandrol.com.